Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Sergeant Major Nir Maman, lead counterterror and Krav Maga instructor at the Israeli Special Forces Counterterror and Special Operations School. We're standing in the officially most feared room in the entire Israeli Special Forces community, the Counterterror School's Krav Maga training room. It's in this room here that every Special Forces recruit will go through his most grueling and intense training throughout his entire warrior certification process. This process can last anywhere from 1 to 2 years, and during that time, the Krav Maga training they go through will last anywhere from 2 to 6 hours a day, every single day. What I'd like to do with this DVD is present two things. First is to give a true representation of Krav Maga, a system developed by Amy Steele Lichtenfeld, who in 1948, after the establishment of the State of Israel and the Israeli Defense Force, became the first chief commander of the IDF's hand-to-hand combat and physical fitness training division, and his system, Krav Maga, became and still is to this very day the official and the only hand-to-hand combat system to the entire Israeli Defense Force and Special Forces. Second is to hopefully give you some more tools and resources to help you survive a violent attack should you ever encounter one. Whether it's the conflict zones that we operate in or the streets that you walk in, the goal of the system is to help us stay safe and alive and to help us keep others safe and alive. I hope you find this DVD useful and resourceful. Please use this material carefully, responsibly, and legally. And with that in mind, let's get to work. In this DVD, what we're going to cover is defense strategies against armed attacks. Specifically, we're going to look at different situations involving a variety of weapons, from impact weapons to knives to firearms. Now, it's important that we
identify and isolate two important factors here. When we talk about weapons, we essentially have two categories that they fall under in terms of the threat. We have what we refer to as an armed threat and what we refer to as an armed attack. An armed threat is a situation where I have an individual who wants to harm me, and he's making an indication clear. He's coming, approaching me, and he has a weapon involved, but that weapon isn't active yet. So he may be holding an impact weapon, he may be holding a knife. He's presenting it, but it hasn't gone active yet. He doesn't have any momentum or life behind that weapon. What I have right now is I've got an individual who approaches me. He's threatening me. He happens to be presenting an impact weapon. I can see it. The first principle that I want to do here is I want to intercept him. With every situation, if I can prevent him being able to engage that weapon, then that's what I want to do. If I can engage him and dominate and control him before he puts that weapon into play, that's what I want to do. I don't want to allow the weapon to come to life because obviously my chances of getting hurt are going to go up, number one. Number two, if we're talking specifically about something like an impact weapon, we've got to remember that he has reach. If I allow him to bring that weapon into play, he's going to be able to dominate the situation by using reach. He'll be able to reach me and harm me, and I won't be able to reach him. So the first thing that I want to do is, as soon as possible, I want to intercept before he has a chance to bring that weapon into play. Chances are he's going to be approaching me. If he hasn't gone active yet, he's going to be making some sort of a threat towards me. And it's in that time that I'm going to intercept. I'm not going to wait for him to get into position or to give him the opportunity to initiate the attack. I'm going to initiate it. So our first technique is going to be intercepting a threat, facing me with an impact weapon, and it's going to look as follows. Okay, let's break this down slowly and see what we got. Number one, the individual approaches me. I see the weapon. As soon as he gives me any type of an indication that he wants to harm me, my strategy already comes into play. I'm not going to wait for him. This is irregardless of whether or not he's holding a weapon. As soon as I got anybody that I identify as a threat to me who approaches me, my strategy already comes into play. Ideally, I obviously don't want to be here. I want to be as far away as I can possibly be so I don't get hurt. But if that's not possible, I want to make sure that I dominate him before he has a chance to put his game plan into play. And from here, he's busy making a threat. Before he has a chance to realize what's going on, I make my move. The first thing I want to do is I want to come in and isolate the weapon hand. So I'm just reaching in, walking on as quickly as I can. Preferably in between the elbow and the wrist, not up here because he still has movement. So he still may be able to affect me and control distance in from here. But in from here where I can negate this weapon's ability to make contact at this point. Simultaneously, I need to dominate him. My primary threat here at this point is not the weapon anymore, it's him. Because as soon as I isolate the weapon hand and don't allow it to move, he's going to start to fight. So the way that I negate that is simultaneously I come in and I'm striking him in the face. One motion. I can follow up as I close now also with an elbow. Now where I went to here specifically is this point of contact and control right here, where I'm locking onto his shoulder, my elbow is in front of him. This is to prevent if he tries to get behind me, I can control his movement. Right away, I follow it in with a knee strike to the groin. I also have the option of a shin kick into the groin, bringing his body down. Now with every weapon attack or threat situation, it's very important that you understand this principle. I'm never going to attempt to disarm him until he is on the ground in a controlled position. I'm not going to try to disarm him while he's still standing. All these moves here, all these strikes, they don't guarantee me anything. They don't guarantee me that this guy's going to be out of commission, he's not going to be able to fight. All they're doing is they are distracting him, allowing me a second, maybe two, to be able to dominate. And while he's in that zone of distraction, I can neutralize him, take him to a controlled point where it becomes more complicated for him to engage me, and then I can work on disarming. So in from here, we enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He went down. Right now specifically, I'm standing in between his weapon and his head. This space is what I'm occupying right now. And we're going to use this reference point for our standard procedure as to how we're going to ground an individual, take him to the ground before we disarm him. So what's going to happen from here at this point? I'm going to release the weapon hand. I'm not concerned with that impact weapon at this point because I'm in close. I've negated this weapon's ability to be effective, number one. Number two, he's distracted. So I'm going to use that split second to right away release the weapon hand and hook underneath his weapon arm shoulder. His shoulder is pinned into my body. This is very crucial. Do not allow any distance to be presented here. It's pinned into my body. His body is always in contact with mine throughout the whole duration of this next phase until he's seated on the ground. At this point, this hand, I release, I make contact with the back of his head. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to take his head, deliver it underneath his body, and bring it up to this empty triangle here between his body and his arm. I'm going to give him a slight pull forward to disbalance him and take a half step back and seat him right in front of me, always controlling him. I still have control of his weapon arm. I've got to this stage. If he's still resisting, I still have options here to be able to neutralize him. Now he's grounded. He's neutralized. He's not as effective as he is standing up. I can disarm him a lot easier here without interference from him. Chances are at this point he's going to be busy fighting. He's going to be busy trying to get up as opposed to fighting. That's what's going to buy me the time that I need to safely disarm him. I'm controlling his weapon arm. Grab his wrist. I control the wrist. There's a number of ways in which I can disarm him now. Number one, I can maintain control with one hand. Simply come onto his grip, strike down. It's a motion as if I'm striking, just putting pressure, bending his wrist to release the grip, and I strip the weapon out. Or number two, I control, grab the tip of the weapon, and from here, use my knee to break the grip. And from here, naturally, I go to work whichever way I need to. So let's look at this again. From this side first. And once more from the other side. The next situation that we're going to look at is going to be an impact weapon attack. So this scenario where I've got an individual who wants to harm me, he's threatening me, he has an impact weapon, and he's actually coming in now swinging with an attack. So it's in motion. There's movement behind the weapon. The situation is obviously a little bit more severe. Okay? A couple points that we need to look at here. Standing arm. Against an impact weapon specifically, there's only two places that I want to be. Number one is as far out of reach as possible of that weapon so that I can't make contact with me whatsoever. Or number two, as close as possible to the source of the delivery system, which is his arm, as I can, to dissipate the momentum of the attack, to be able to make the swing ineffective itself, and to avoid the weapon, which is going to be housing the concentration of the force. I'm much better off taking a hit from his arm than I am from this weapon, because the majority of all the actual force that I'm going to feel in the impact that's going to cause me damage is going to be the weapon itself as opposed to his arm. So as quickly as possible, I want to enter, and then we're going to look at what the strategy is. So it's going to look like this right now. Single hand attack and from top. Okay, let's break that down now, nice and slow. As soon as he raises his weapon, so I already want to be making my move forward. I don't want to wait for him to already start swinging towards me. My chances of being able to avoid the weapon itself and make contact with his arm drastically narrow, they decrease. As soon as I see him raising the weapon, I'm in a situation now that we had a bit of distance between us. I wasn't able to come in and intercept before he raised his arm, or I wasn't prepared for it. So he managed to raise his weapon. As his arm is going up to strike, I'm already charging in. Now, I'm charging in with both arms in this triangle formation. One arm, which is the one closest to the weapon side, is going to deal with the weapon arm. Specifically, what I need to do here is I need to make contact with his arm as quickly as possible. The sooner I can make contact with his arm, the sooner I break the momentum of the swing and I drastically decrease the danger that this weapon poses to me. So I'm charging in, and as soon as possible, I'm trying to make contact with this arm, as close to the weapon as possible. I want to be able to ride his arm down. If I come in too high up on his arm, I still allow this motion here to happen. I allow this movement to happen. And every bit of movement that the arm is allowed to take is the amount of impact that this weapon is going to increase in. My second hand is our second principle. I want to be able to harm him as quickly as I can. I need to inflict pain to disarm him, to distract him, and to dissipate his ability to fight and to continue making this weapon effective. So simultaneously, as he comes in, I'm charging in. My head, noticed, is buried as far forward as it can go. I don't want to stay in the line of the weapon. So simultaneously, as I'm coming in, I want my head to dive in as deep as it can, close to his body. My second hand, I'm charging right into the face to distract him. In from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You notice that's the exact same routine that we just did in the interception. What I'm doing now is I'm controlling this weapon hand against my body. I'm now going to release it and hook it underneath his arm, pinning his shoulder to my body, coming to that same reference point, where all I need to do now is take his head underneath his arm, seat him in front of me, and now I can disarm him. Let's look at that again. On this side first. Now once from the other side. All right, what we had now, again, we had an attack situation. The difference here is that the scenario started off in a closer proximity of me to the threat. The previous technique, we had a distance. I had time to be able to isolate the angle that the attack was coming in from, and I had time and room to effectively come in and extend my arms. From here, we're starting off in close range. This can happen because of one or two scenarios. Number one, I'm not aware of my environment. This guy wants to harm me. He approaches me, he's got a weapon in his hand. All of a sudden taps me on the shoulder, I turn around, we happen to be standing here and he's got the weapon there. Or number two, maybe he's concealing the weapon. So I can't see that he has a weapon. And he manages to close in on me and then decides to attack when we're in this proximity. We have a few problems here. The closer I am to him, the less response time I have. You gotta understand that the human mind, we all go through the same phases of reaction. We've got 4 steps to reacting: perceive, analyze, formulate, and execute. What does that mean? It means I've got an individual standing in front of me who suddenly throws a punch towards my face. The first thing our mind has to do is it has to perceive that action. I got to notice that there's an action coming towards me. Once I perceive the action, I have to analyze it. What is that action? Well, that's a punch coming towards me. That's no good. I got to now formulate a plan of action. What do I want to do? Do I want to block? Do I want to duck? Do I want to move back, move forward? As soon as I've got my plan, my mind has to transmit that plan through my nerves to my muscles to control my bones to move my body to make me do that action. I go through those 4 steps. At this distance, closer I am, the less time I have to react. Number 1. Number 2, I don't have the room here being able to extend my arms. If he swings and I'm at this distance, by the time I bring my arms up and come in, he's going to already catch me at the point that he'll be able to negate my movement. So my response here has to be different. Number 1, I will perceive that I've got a threat or a movement coming in from the left side of my body. If he's holding the weapon in his right hand, I'll be able to notice that. So right away, my whole left side, I drive it forward into his arm. I'm turning my back because I got less vital points on my back and I've got more muscle tissue on my back to be able to absorb. I'm shielding my whole left side, the side that's coming in. If I'm moving into the left, my left foot steps in, it leads. My left arm is pinned against my body, giving me a shield all the way down the side of my arm. My right arm, I fold it up in front of my body, the outside of my arm facing out. My palm covers my ear or whatever part of my head is exposed. I'm also dipping my shoulder to protect the side of my neck. And all I'm doing is collapsing as quickly as I can into that threat. I want to be able to dive in as deep as I can into the source of the delivery system, his arm, as quickly as I can. He moves in, I quickly charge in. Notice my position. In from here, I've got one arm up top, one arm down at the bottom. They're now both going to invert and trap the weapon arm. One, and all that happens now is my bottom hand comes up, my top hand goes down, and I trap his arm right into me. Notice that here, again, I didn't initiate with a specific counterattack, a simultaneous counterattack, because A, I don't have the room to do that here, to be able to effectively neutralize the swing and hit him. I'm also too close that my attack is not going to be effective in from here. But B, I don't need to. In from here, boom, as soon as I impact into his body, that's going to serve as my distraction. And right away, I clamp on. Once I lock onto him, now I'm going to enact my neutralization techniques or my distraction or attacking, counterattacking techniques. I don't want to let go with any one of my arms here just yet because I don't want to compromise my grip on this weapon hand. So I'm pinning it onto me, and right away, boom, I'm attacking him down low with a knee or with a kick to the groin. Notice where we end up. We're in that same reference point now, the first one, where I'm standing in between his weapon and between his head. So we already knows what this means. In from here, all I'm going to do is maintain his weapon arm pinned in my body, my hand on the back of his head, step back, scoop him under, finish to counterattack if I need to, and disarm. Let's look at that again from the other side. What we had now, an attack situation, we're standing getting close range. Only now, he attacked with two hands on the weapon. Real slow as he comes in. Same response. As quickly as I can, I charge into his body, shielding myself and charging in to dissipate the momentum of the swing. As soon as I make contact, my first concern right now is to lock onto him. I'm not aiming to trap both of his arms because if I try to lock on both of his arms, I won't have a good grip. I'm not concerned with which hand his weapon is actually being held in. All I want is to lock on to one of his arms. Immediately, I attack. I attack. I attack over top if I need to. I'm standing at our second reference point. I'm on his outside now, which means right away, I reach in, grab his chin, turn it away, dip him into me, hold the arm, disarm, and we're free to move. Let's look at that again from the other side. In this section now, we're going to look at defense strategies against knife attacks. We've got to understand a couple things here. A knife is a very complicated tool to work against. No matter who you are and what system, it's an extremely complicated tool. It's a very dangerous tool. A knife can inflict a lot of damage, serious damage, in minimal time. And it can be very difficult to be able to neutralize and be able to control it. We're going to start with knife attacks, and then we're going to start to move into knife threats. Now, a very important fact you got to keep in mind here. 90% of all knife attack victims, they don't even realize that they've been attacked and stabbed or cut or injured by a knife until one or two situations. A, either the confrontation is ended, the assailant leaves the scene, the victim's now walking away, all of a sudden they start to feel some heat coming out from a certain area. They go to touch it, it's all wet, they look down, they got blood coming out of all over the place. This happens because you're in the confrontation, your adrenaline is running. They get stabbed, you don't feel that knife puncturing your body. It feels like an impact, like punched. The knife penetrates, does the damage. The assailant leaves, the victim's no longer in threat, so the adrenaline wears off, the blood starts to seep out of the wound. And that's when the shock sets in. Or number two, they wake up a couple days later in the hospital after a little coma, and they've been informed they've been stabbed 20, 30 times. There's a very important reason why this happens. Humans go through a series of psychological effects when they're under threat. One of them is tunnel vision, which means that under stress, right away, you're going to be focused on the only thing that's threatening you. When an individual comes up to you and he's holding a knife in his hand, you may not notice it. Because he's coming up and he's threatening you and he's mouthing off to you right away, your eyes lock into his face. That's the most immediate thing that's sending that threatening message to you. So because you're so focused on his face, you don't even see what his hands are holding. Your adrenaline is pumping, and as I said before, when you are getting stabbed, it feels like a strike. It feels like you're being punched. It doesn't feel like you're being stabbed. You can't identify that because the knife is cutting, puncturing into your body in and out very quickly. So there's one thing that we need to keep in mind here, and it has to be our standard operating procedure. Under any situation, no matter what distance, no matter what environment, the second that I have an individual standing in proximity to me that's posing a threat to me, my instinctive response has to first be to glance at his at his hands. I want to see what he's holding in his hands. I'm not concerned with his face. I'm not concerned with his body. I'm not concerned with anything other than his hands. As soon as he comes up to me, the first thing I want to do is quickly glance at his hands to see if he's holding any type of a weapon. The second I identify he's got a knife in his hand, it's going to change the whole spectrum of the situation. It's going to give me a much more advantageous position now because I'm aware that there's a knife. So that's crucial to understand. Now, what we're going to work on first is the same thing. I want to be able to intercept this weapon before it goes into motion. With a knife especially, when it's in motion, that's when it complicates things. As soon as a knife has energy behind it, all it has to do is make contact with your body and it cuts you. That's the problem. In this situation, my assailant comes up. He's got nothing in his hands, but I see he's got a weapon tucked away in his waistband. Or, at some point in time in this communication, in this altercation that's about to take place, he suddenly makes a gesture and reaches for a weapon. I've already deemed him as a threat to me, so I'm not going to wait to find out what it is that he's going to deploy. I'm going to intercept as soon as I can. Specifically, we're going to take a look at what's going to happen in this situation here. Okay, let's break this down. I'm standing in proximity to him. I most likely don't have a distance here because I didn't observe any weapons in his hand. If I saw he had a weapon, I wouldn't allow him to get this close to me. We're standing in this range. He poses a threat to me. I deem him as a threat. He suddenly reaches for something. In this case specifically, it's a knife. He reaches for the knife, so. And from here, notice the positioning of his arm. It forms a triangle. Whether he's reaching in front, inside, and behind, I have this triangle. My only concern, obviously, is this arm right now. I don't want him to deploy whatever it is he's trying to deploy. My response, simultaneously both my hands. One shoots to the wrist, the other one to the shoulder area. I don't want to have two hands above the elbow, because if I'm holding it from here, he can still draw the knife and he can still stab me. Likewise, I don't want to try and reach in through his arm to hook on. There's a very big tactical mistake, because in the time that it takes me to reach through here and actually lock anything, his knife is already deployed. And at this point now, if I try to pull him in, I'm only feeding that knife further into me. So what I need is to control his arm at 2 points. Number one, again, is the wrist. Number two is the shoulder area. I come in nice and quick, locking on tight. Once I've got control here, notice up top, I can give him this elbow in from here. I continue with my series of counterattacks. I want his body to come forward. That's why I'm attacking him down low. I want to bring him forward. Now, he may still be holding on to the knife, or he may let go and it may still stay tucked into his waistband. Or he may drop this in the process of what I'm about to do to him. It's irrelevant. Right away, I want to pull his shoulder into my body. I want to control his body in from here, yanking it in. At this point, look at my reference point. We're in the first reference point. I'm standing in between his head and the weapon, which means that in from here, my top hand goes to the back of his head. We already know the movement. I'm taking him down, maintaining control of his wrist. In this particular situation right now, he held on to the knife, so it came out, it was deployed as he went down, which means that from here, I'm going to control the wrist, pull it up, same way that I took the impact weapon out of his hand. My palm rests on the back of his hand. I break the angle of his wrist to open up his grip, and all I'm doing is clawing and scraping the knife out. I can finish off whichever way that I need to and open up the distance. If the knife wasn't deployed, okay, I took him down. Whatever weapon it was he had in his pants, he didn't deploy, okay? From here, I'm going to continue attacking, grab his wrist, palm facing out. All I'm going to do now is take a step back, wrenching his arm against my leg to take him down into the ground. From here again, I can continue with whatever degree of severity of damage I need to control him, okay? Let's look at it once more from this side here. What we're going to look at right now is we're going to continue with our defense strategies against knife attacks. We're dealing with attacks right now, not with threats. In this particular situation, the knife has been deployed. My attacker managed to pull the knife out, and he's active. That knife is in motion. I'm going to tell you right now, okay, that dealing against a knife in motion is an extremely complicated thing to do. do whatever you can to not put yourself in that situation. A, by either not being in an environment where somebody is going to attack you and possibly pull out a knife, or B, by dominating him and neutralizing him before he even has a chance to deploy his knife. He reaches for something, get on top of him, knock him out. You shouldn't even know what it is that he was reaching for. This is obviously only if he was posing a threat to you. If you deem it to be a threat and you have to use force, intercept him before he pulls his weapon out. If he deploys a knife and he's active, your chances diminish drastically of being able to survive the situation. You gotta understand that when you're dealing against a knife, it's not knife defense, it's knife survival. You don't manage to disarm or defend against a knife, you survive the attack. There's a very high probability of you getting cut because it's very complex. He's sitting here swinging. This knife is like a blender in motion charging at you. The time that it takes your mind to be able to identify, to perceive, to analyze, to formulate a plan of action, to execute it. By the time you identify what angle he's coming in at, it's too late. He's already cut you and he's coming in on a second angle. That's the problem that we face. With us specifically in this line of work, somebody pulls out a knife, we open up the distance, we deploy our firearms. That's the surest way to be able to survive that confrontation. If you don't have any firearms on you, what you want, number one, is to maintain as much of a distance as you can so that knife can't reach you. If that's not possible, get as many obstacles in between you and that knife. A table, a door, anything that you can. If that's not possible, you want to try to find any type of a weapon that you can pick up or an object that you can pick up to use as a weapon that's going to allow you space. Whether it's a chair, whether it's a baseball bat, a lead pipe sitting on the street, who knows what. Anything that will allow you to maintain distance from that knife. If that fails and you're forced to go into empty-hand engagement against the knife, there's no set techniques for this. There's only principles. Principles that we try to formulate into a tactical response. This is what you need to understand. There's nothing perfect about this right now. It's too complex to be able to have any type of a perfectly formulated response against a knife in action. The principles, number one, I want to try to survive or to minimize the amount of damage that knife can cause me if I do get cut. I want to make sure all my vital parts are covered. My hands are going to be facing inwards towards me. I don't want to expose the inside of my limbs to that blade. On the inside, I've got veins and arteries that run through here. If I take a really deep cut across there, that can potentially cause very serious or lethal damage in a short period of time. On the outside of my limbs, I've got just muscle tissue, fat tissue, skin, ligaments, and tendons, and bone. So I'm better off taking cuts to the outside of my limbs. So I want my palms facing in. I want my chin tucked down, my shoulders tucked up to protect my jugular. My fingers are open in front of my face. I want to try to protect any slashes that might come across my eyes or my throat. Now we're going to look at two tactical tools that we're going to use here to try and help us open up the door to get into an effective conclusion to this situation. Number one, we're going to deal right now with long-range attacks. What does that mean? In a long-range situation against the knife, he's got his weapon hand extended, the knife is extended. The knife right now can't reach my body, but I can reach his knife hand. This is what I define as long range. I'm going to want to maintain this range. My goal, my initial goal, when he's charging in, swinging all over the place, my goal is not going to be to try to rush in and try to catch or block. If I block his attack and I stop the motion, he's going to retract, pull back, and it's going to cut me. To be able to reach up and try to grab it, he's going to be moving too quick at this distance for you to be able to properly analyze what angle that blade is coming in to reach up and grab it. It's not going to happen. What I want to do is fight to maintain this distance, try to cause damage while I'm in this distance to slow him down, or to give myself an opportunity to suddenly make his arm freeze, reach in, and then seize it. So first thing we're going to look at, obviously the longest range weapon I have available to me naturally are my legs. What we're going to look at from here is very simple. As he comes charging in at me, okay, all I want to do is maintain distance and continue to attack his legs. What I'm doing here, very simple. I got one side forward, one side back. My lead leg is always going to be the leg that's going to be attacking. I'm not going to step in with my rear leg because it takes too long and it puts me closer to that blade. As he extends, whatever leg is closest to me is my target leg. Whichever leg of his happens to be closest to me, that's the leg I'm attacking. I'm turning my body away, completely away. If that knife extends and manages to reach me, I want to take the cut on my shoulders and on my back as opposed to anywhere on my front. I stay shielded. I'm going down low to try and avoid the potential swing. And all I'm doing is lifting my leg and driving it into his knee and quickly step off. My goal right now is to hopefully cause damage, but specifically is to maintain distance. So as he comes in, he keeps coming in, all I'm doing is attacking down low. Attacking down low. Now notice a few details. I'm not staying upright and trying to attack like this, because then from here, he might be able to reach in and still get me. It's very important that I stay low, turn my back to him, and stretch my leg out to make sure that knife goes over top of me and doesn't reach me. My lead leg, closest leg to the target, simply comes up, boom. I give that strike, and I quickly take a step out of range. That's number one. Number two, let's say that maybe he catches me off guard. I'm not in a position to be able to get this leg up, or he closes in a little quicker than I was able to read, and I can't use my kick effectively. I'm going to do the same principle using my hands. I'm going to target his knife hand, as opposed to trying to come up and grab or stop, because it's not very likely I'm going to be able to do that. Instinctively, what I will be able to assess is where the knife is coming in from, and hopefully hit it and keep it away from me. So I'm making fists, I'm using the back of my hands, and every time he comes in, all I'm doing is hitting his hand out of the way. And whenever I get a chance, boom, I'm going to try to feed him one of those low line kicks to keep him away. Now, what's my goal here? My goal, again, number one, it's to slow him down. If I can reduce his momentum, reduce his speed, reduce his motive to keep on advancing, it's going to hopefully give me some more opportunities, or a more clear opportunity to rush in there and seize the knife. The bonus here that I'm hoping is going to happen is that I'm going to actually cause damage. I'm going to actually come in and cause enough damage that's going to prevent it from being able to continue to move forward. I keep on doing this, keep on maintaining a distance until the time comes that all of a sudden he stops moving and I have the ability to come in and seize control of his knife hand. At which point here, I go to work whichever way that I need to in controlling and initiating our strategies. So again, I stay covered up, I'm keeping the distance, my lead leg is driving into whichever leg of his is closest to me, into the knee, and I step back. Comes in, boom, I drive into his leg. If he's a little bit closer than my legs can reach, all I'm doing is trying to hit his knife hand and staying out of range to cause damage, to slow him down. Hopefully he'll turn around and leave. Maybe he'll drop the knife, balancing out the situation, or until I can slow him down enough to the point that I can rush in, seize his knife hand, start going to work causing damage. I'm going to hold on. I'm not going to let go. My concern, my primary threat is this knife. It's not him right now. I don't care if he's feeding me punches to the back of the head. I don't stop. I hold on, and while we're here, I start attacking until I'm at the point that I can cause enough damage to him, ground him, and then disarm. What we're going to cover right now is knife attack strategies from what we refer to as medium range, which is also called surprise attack range, or referred to it. And there's a reason for that. If I have an individual who's armed with a knife, there's no way in the world that he is going to be this close to me. In medium range, what defines it is when his knife is extended and it can reach my body. If I extend my hand, I can reach his body. There's no way that I will ever allow an individual who I deem or suspect to be a threat to me to get this close. The only reason as to why he managed to get this close is because I didn't notice that he had a knife in his hand. So again, number one, I failed to enact that first rule that we talked about, which is the second, that I've got an individual who I don't know or who I suspect wants to do me harm, approaching me, the first thing I need to do is glance down at his hands to make sure he's not holding a knife. If I fail to do that, chances are he may have the knife in his hand and manage to approach, or he may conceal the knife and approach. That's why we end up in this range. This range is very complicated. It poses some serious complications here. In that, again, we talked about the 4 steps of reaction. It's going to take my mind a series of steps to go through to perceive what's going on here. Perceive, analyze, formulate, and execute. In this whole time, he's standing here and he knows that he wants to attack me. He's gone through those 4 steps too. But he starts the action on the last step, which is to execute his plan of action. He sees me, he perceives me, he assesses that he wants to harm me, he formulates his plan of action, which is take his knife out and to approach me and to get in range, and then boom, to slice my throat quickly. And that's all that's left for him to do, is to go to step number 4, which is execute that plan of action, which is to slice my throat or to stab me. Nice quick motion to stab me. When he's doing that motion, I'm only starting step number 1. I got to perceive that something is happening here. And again, we're only humans, and our mind works in a very categorized fashion. And that's the problem that I have. The closer I am to him, the less distance I have between him and me, that is less time that I have to be able to perceive and to respond efficiently. So now, to be able to respond in a very surgical and calculated manner to address a certain angle, okay, as an example, if he comes in with a certain angle, if I want to come up and try to catch it, his arm, it's very unlikely I'm going to be able to do that. Because at the speeds that everything happens here, when he swings, his knife is going to already be too close, already connect with the target, with my throat, my body, by the time my hands only come up to make contact with his. So this is where we'll be. I don't stand much of a chance. Instinctively, what can happen though, is that again, my mind will perceive a certain action coming from a certain angle. Generally, I will be able to perceive everything coming off of one side. I'll be able to see that there's a motion coming off my left side or off my right side. Now in this range, traditionally in Krav Maga, we have a defense mechanism called a 360 degree defense, which essentially I'm operating off of my instinctive response capability as being able to assess the degree or the side at which the angle is coming in, and being able to execute a general defense structure that's going to cover a certain mass of area that's going to increase my probability of being able to stop this angle. As opposed to trying to surgically acquire the specific angle he's coming in from, I'm going to throw a defense that's going to cover a wide range in that area to optimize my capability of being able to stop it. And the way in which it's performed is my hand always takes not necessarily a 90-degree angle, but just a little bit beyond 90. Because if I'm holding my arm at a 90-degree angle, if I've got force coming down, it's going to collapse, it's going to give. So I want to base it a little bit further out. Not too much in that I cause a severe deflection in the angle, but enough that I stop, I manage to prevent any give, and I can still respond. That's the defense element to it. It's called 360 because I'm working this structure here with the entire parameter of my body. Anywhere from straight up top to angle to side angles right down to bottom. So I got a whole 360 degree radius of being able to quickly cover these whole areas. Simultaneously, I employ my counterattack principle, which as I'm coming in, I'm also stepping in and striking. That strike is crucial, but it also poses a little problem for us here. You got to remember that right now, my primary threat is this knife, because the knife may be able to make contact with me once, and that cut or that damage that inflicted could be the damage that's going to terminate my capabilities of being able to continue. As opposed to his body, that he may be able to come in and start striking at me with his other hand, but I might be able to absorb some of that punishment and continue. So the knife is my primary concern. When it's coming at me, I need to first neutralize its movement. As soon as I've done that, I need to neutralize his thought process. If I don't do that, the knife will stay active. As long as he is still physically in the fight and mentally in the fight, he can still maneuver that knife. The quicker that I can dominate him psychologically by giving him a strike into the face, the quicker I shut him down for 1, maybe 2 seconds. But that allows me to transfer over to the next stage, which is going to be now control the knife arm and now continue my counterattack to neutralize him, ground him, and then disarm. Now, with the 360 degree, you have to understand, I know it's taught in many Krav Maga arenas all around the world. Krav Maga, again, is a military system. It was designed for soldiers by soldiers. We walk around with firearms on us. I've got my M4, I've got my sidearm. If he's got a knife, as I mentioned before, first thing I want is distance. If I've got a firearm, my firearm is coming out. I'm not going to risk, no matter what I think I know or how good I think I am, I'm not going to risk getting into a contact engagement with him when he's got a knife in his hand, because I don't have any guarantees of survival here. If I can shoot him at a distance, that's all the better. I don't have to worry. That is what this 360 degree mechanism is for. The problem that this simultaneous attack gives me is that when he comes in, when I strike him in the face, his automatic reflex is going to be to go back. His body's going to automatically shoot back, drawing that knife back with him. I'm going to lose contact with him. I'm going to lose that element of surprise, which is very important. I may not get a second chance. He came, he made a mistake the first time, exposed himself. If I hit him and send him back, he's going to be much smarter, much quicker, and much more deceptive with any attacks after that. This 360 degree block is designed for me to be able to send him back and then access my firearm so that I can shoot him. That is the whole purpose of that block, or that defense strategy. So you need to keep this in mind. I'm still going to show you guys a variation with this 360 block and a follow-up, which is what we have added for a situation where it is what I end up using or choose to use and I don't have a firearm on me. And then we're going to go to another variation of a response for this range, which is what we actually use here in the IDF. We're going to break this down right now into 5 basic angles. These are the most common angles that we find out there in the street. There's all sorts of different types of unorthodox or unconventional angles that a lot of systems employ and practice with, but they don't happen in real life. In real life, what you get is either slashing motions or stabbing into the midsection, or sometimes into the face, higher area, throat and face area. We're going to break this down into a series of 5 movements or attack types, which are the most common ones that we always see in altercations. The first angle is a simple slash from my knife hand side down across my body. The second one is just reverse. Third one is the same thing but parallel to the ground. The fourth one is just reverse of that. And the fifth one, for this first section of movement that we're going to practice strategy, is going to be an upward stab. I'm going to add some variations afterwards of the next strategy. So in from here, my attacker comes in. He gives me that first angle. Again, we're starting off in medium range because it's a surprise attack range. I don't have a lot of room to maneuver here, which is just another point that I got to throw in there as well. That in this range, if he suddenly comes in really fast, my ability to come up in time and be able to actually get my fist in a position where I can effectively throw a strike into his face is a little impeded. It's too close here to be able to actually come in and get an effective shot, which is why we've added a variation here we're going to cover in a minute. The principles for this 360 degree block mechanism though. As he comes in, number 1, my hand shoots up in that same formation, a little beyond 90 degrees, I make contact. My head, likewise my whole body, I want to take it off the line of the knife no matter what. I want to either be outside its reach or inside, as close as I can get. So as my arm comes up and makes contact, my body is bearing through as much as I can. In the event that this still crashes on me, maybe he's holding the knife in a reverse grip, here it won't contact me. If I stay here, it can still contact me. Simultaneously, I'm coming in, striking the face. Now, what's crucial here, the variation that we're going to add here, is I don't want to revert right now to trying to single-handedly coming in and grabbing onto his hand. I don't have much chances of doing that. His arm is going to be pulling back very quickly. We're going to be moving very quickly here. I'm not going to have the ability to do such fine motor skills. So what's going to happen from here is while he's going back, I'm also going to go forward with him because I want to maintain this distance. I don't want to lose contact. But what's going to happen is in from here, my blocking hand, I'm going to quickly invert it all I'm doing is quickly shooting my hand down towards the ground. My striking hand, I'm going to shoot over top of his knife hand, landing in this position here, real slow. From here, simultaneously, I'm going forward. I'm surrounding his hand from top and bottom, and all I'm doing is quickly clamping onto his arm. Real slow. He comes in. 1, 2. Once again. 1, 2. Slow. 1. All I'm doing now is I'm quickly reverting my fist over to his arm, switching the position of my blocking hand, and knocking his hand down. Right in from here. I've got him clamped from bottom and from top. My body weight is on his arm. Under no circumstances should he be able to pull this arm free. That's my only concern. I don't care if he starts striking me with his other hand. I'm going to take that punishment for a second or two. What I don't want is his knife to release. Naturally, the point is I want to dominate him as quickly as I can. I'm not going to allow him to start going active. As soon as I get to this point here, I begin now with my counterattacks, which are going to be down low, knees and kicks. Go slow. He comes in. 1, 2, 3. I got my counterattack. Look at the reference point that we end up in now. I'm in between the weapon and his head. So I already know how I'm going to be taking him down to the ground from here. I maintain contact with his arm. My top hand, after I've given him the low line attack, my top hand goes to the back of his head. I give him a slight pull forward to just balance him and simply revert my hands in this fashion to here, ending up in here. I maintain control of his knife. I talked several times already about the importance of maintaining contact with his arm and my body. If I allow this distance to exist, there's two problems that'll happen. The best case scenario for me is that he'll be able to roll out. When I step back and flip him, he'll have this freedom of movement here, he'll be able to roll out. The worst case is as I take him, pay attention to his knife. It can come swinging right by my face or slice my throat. So I need to make sure that I'm isolating that arm, that there's no movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. From here, he's going to be busy trying to get up, not fighting. That's where I want him. That buys me time. Boom, to strike, to gouge his eyes out, to smash him in the nose, to snap his neck, to drop knees into his ribs, to do whatever it is I need to do. Once I've impacted him enough to the point that I can see that he's gone totally defensive and I have the opportunity, only then am I going to revert now to the idea of disarming. I'm in contact with his arm. All I'm going to do now is quickly grab hold of his wrist. Stretch it out away from his body. He's making a fist, grabbing onto the knife. I'm going to pretend as if, again, I see the knife floating in the air. His hand is invisible. I'm simply going to wrap around, gripping it. In the process of doing that, I want to break the angle of his wrist, like so. That's going to loosen up his grip, and all I'm doing now is raking the knife out into my hand. From here, boom, continue with whatever else I need to, and I get out of range. Once again, slow. He comes in. 1. As opposed to allowing him to disconnect, what I'm going to do now is I want to seize this arm as quickly as I can, the knife arm. And from here, flip my arms, dive into it. All my weight goes on top. Notice again that my first counterattack is not coming in up high. For two reasons. Number one, if I give him a strike to the face, his body weight's going to be thrown back. It may compromise my grip on the arm here if I didn't grab on properly. Number two, I want two arms locked on the one item that can definitely kill me here. I don't want to compromise his grip. So right away from here, I begin to counterattack down low, knees and kicks into the groin. As soon as I get him down, head flip, I continue to attack now with whatever it is that I have until he's gone totally defensive. Then I revert to the idea of disarming. We work right now with angle 1. We're going to work right now with angle 2, reverse slash, from up high. Exact same principle. He comes in, right away, I throw my hand up, make contact, and I step in as deep as I can. At the same time, I give him the strike. Now from here, it's the exact same motion. From here, I want to seize this arm as quickly as I can. My contact hand or my blocking hand, I quickly flip it upside down. That's all I'm doing is flipping my hand upside down with my fingers pointed forwards towards the threat. From here, 1. From here, I flip this hand simultaneously. My striking hand comes over top to seize control. Again, 1, 2. As soon as I've got control, my head is also buried down because I know he's going to start to strike. I know he's going to start to fight. So if he does throw a punch, I don't want to take it in my face. I want him to connect with my head. In the meantime, as soon as I lock on, right away, I start attacking. 1, 2 strikes at the most. I don't want to waste time with this. If I get too much in the game of attacking him and counterattacking him, I'm wasting time and he's going to change his strategy. So right away, I give him 1 or 2 strikes. I'm in our second reference point, which in from here, the knife hand is in between me and his head. I'm on the outside of his knife hand or his body. The way in which I'm going to ground him, I reach across his back. Quickly, I hook onto his chin, quickly turn it around, seat him down in front of me. We're in the exact same position. He's seated right in front of me. His arm is seized, controlled into my body. From here, boom, I attack, I do whatever it is I need to do. Only once he's gone defensive do I reach up, control his wrist, and disarm. Number 1. Angle 1, control. 2. Angle 2, control. Angle 3 is a horizontal slash, going inwards. He comes in. My defense now is coming in low. Comes in, I step in, contact. In from here, as soon as I make contact, all I'm doing now is scooping his arm into me. I've made contact, my fingers down, I'm just reverting my arm back up, scooping it. 1, 2. And we're in the exact same position here. I'm at reference point 1. Angle 4 is a reverse slash. He comes in, boom, same thing. Bum. I contact, 90 degrees, strike simultaneously. All I do now is invert my arm facing up and I seize. From here right away, I attack. I'm in reference point number 2 on his outside, which means the takedown is going to be from his chin. The last angle for this variation is going to be an upward thrust, which as he comes in, 90 degrees, right in front, simultaneous strike, boom, but right away, I'm pushing the hand off to the side and flipping my arms to seize. Comes in, 1, 2, 3, takedown, attack, control, disarm. Okay, again, if you're working with a 360 defense, this is the variation you need to keep in mind. If you don't have a firearm on you, you don't want this distance to open up. As soon as you commit your response, you want to close range, contact, seize the arm as quickly as you can, dominate him, ground him. Do not attempt to disarm him until he's on the ground. Only once he's on the ground should you even think of releasing your grip and attempting a disarm. If you mess up and you disarm while he's standing up, he can break away and he's going to start coming at you with more aggressive attacks. If you mess up while he's on the ground, he still can't attack you, he's got to get up. Buys you time to kick his head in, to keep him there, or even run and gain some distance. Real slow once again, just demo all the angles. Angle 1. 1, 2, 3. Reference point 1, head flip. Counter, control the wrist, disarm. Angle 2. 1, 2, 3. Reference point 2. I reach behind, grab the chin, seat him down in front. Counter, seize the wrist, disarm. That's how it does it. Angle 3, horizontal slash. 1, 2, 3. I'm in reference point 1. I flip the head underneath. Angle 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm in reference point 2. Grab the face. Take him down. Last one, upward thrust. Notice my hips are shooting back. I'm not coming in high. If I come in too high, I allow him to pass. I need to make sure that I'm below the angle, preferably closer to the wrist. Comes in. 1, 2, 3. Reference point 1 means a head flip. Counter, disarm. We just looked at the 360 defense strategy. Talked about the pros and the cons of it. What I'm going to show you guys right now is another variation that is the actual variation that we use today here in the IDF. We find that it has a much higher degree of being able to allow us to respond more effectively to that surprise attack or that medium range attack, in being able to reduce injury, being able to isolate the knife before it impacts our body, not missing the knife in whatever angle it comes in from, being able to seize the hand more effectively, and then we're going to carry on from that at that point. And from here, I'm also going to add 3 new variation of angles. They're also very common angles that we work with. Now, before I get into anything further, this is crucial. I need to emphasize this. 2 important things that you need to ensure that you're always enforcing if you are being approached by someone who may be a threat to you. Number 1, we already talked about, which is right away scan his hands, make sure he's holding no weapons. Number 2, always make sure that your hands come up to center line. Do not stand with your hands down here and expect to survive anything. If you stand here and he throws at angle 1, even your 360 degrees is not going to work in from here. You will not be quick enough if you start with your hands down here at this range. At this range, that's how quick the angles come in. By the time your hand reaches here, he's already cut you. No matter what happens, I look at the hands, and my hands right away come up to center line, so I'm prepared. This now gives them a much smaller radius that they need to respond to work with anything. And it's now going to allow me to also dominate my center line to be able to take anything off center line that's coming at me on that angle. That's going to allow me to respond quickly and effectively and make sure that I respond in time. And from here, we're going to start off with the same angles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 5 is going to be a different variation, and 6 is going to be a new one that we're going to add in here. My hands come up, he comes in, we're in medium range. I didn't notice that he has a knife because he hit it, or I didn't see a knife, for whatever reason. But he's got a knife in his hand. I'm going to first come in with the angle 1. The 360 block, when he came in with that angle 1, I shoot out this entire portion of my hand to this region, because it allows me again to cover a wide area with one motion, which optimizes my ability to make sure that I contact that knife arm, prevent it from being able to come in on my body. There still is a bit of a problem here. We're in a very tight and confined space. My mind's ability to perceive action and analyze action at that space again is reduced. He may come in, and it may appear to be coming in from this quarter of an angle, but halfway through he suddenly transitions and comes down low. It happens, and we've seen it. And the problem is that if that happens, I may not actually be able to contact his knife, or I won't stop it. It's no longer relevant. This block is no longer relevant because it doesn't deal with any other angles. So here's what we have varied to allow us to address that problem. I'm going to break this down into very micro elements, and then we're going to put it all together. Number one, preference. If a cut's coming at me, I don't want to be facing it. I don't want my face and my center line to be facing it. In the event that I suddenly miss, obviously I've got too many vital areas here that are going to take the hit. The preference is to have my backside facing that angle. In the event that I miss, I've got much bigger and denser muscle tissue back there to be able to take more cuts. So the first thing, I perceive motion coming in from the left side. I know right away I'm going to occupy my left side. I'm leading with my left side. He comes in. The first thing that happens is right away I step forward with my left leg. I contact with my left shoulder. I'm turning my back to wherever that action came from. This is no different than the impact weapon defense, the stick defense that we looked at in at close range. It's the exact same principle. It's universal and applies to the knife as well. Starting down low, my left side, if I'm leading with my left side, my left arm stays attached to my thigh, to my body. I'm covering this entire region. I don't want to take any cuts inside. I'd rather take them on the outside. So I lead with my left side, with my left arm covering down low. My ear buries itself into the shoulder, and my shoulder is raised into the ear. Why? Because again, in the event that I miss and this knife comes swinging through, if I've got any space here, it's going to cut my jugular. I'll be dead in a matter of seconds. If I've got no space here and he comes in and he cuts through, he'll take my ear off, he'll slice my cheek, but I'll stay alive. Now I have the problem with the front part of my face. My right arm again shoots up and it covers anything that the rest of my body here isn't covering. So I'm closed right in from here, covering my eyes and covering my face, so that in the event that that knife does come slicing through, it slices only the exterior parameters of my body, which gives me more chances of staying alive. Real slow. He comes in. One. My counterattack here does take place, but not in the form of a strike. It's in the form of my contact with his body. If you notice here that when he comes in, I come charging into him hard. That's my counterattack, my initial counterattack. The purpose of the counterattack, remember this, for all purposes when we use a counterattack, it's not to knock him out. It's not to break his nose. It's not to inflict pain. It's to draw a blank over his mind. His mind right now is like a wheel. It's spinning in one direction. It's acting out on that thought process that he decided to execute. What I need to do is stick a spike in the spoke of that wheel to stop it. Once I do that, he's got to revert back to those 4 steps of reaction, because his thought process has been disrupted now. So he now has to go to perception, perceive what's going on. Why is his thought process not taking place now? He's got to analyze the situation, formulate another plan of action, and then execute that plan of action. That takes anywhere from 1, 2, maybe 3 to 4 seconds. That time frame is what gives me the opportunity to now seize his knife arm, control it, and now continue to inflict pain and to ground him. That's the purpose of the counterattack, the initial counterattack. My counterattack again comes in the form of my body contacting him. Real slow. He comes in, I make contact immediately, just like we already worked on. The end movement here is just like the 360 block that we just worked on. It's the exact same as the impact weapon block that we worked on. All I do from here, I've got one hand facing up, one hand facing down. I simply reverse them. Reverse them and scissor and lock over top of the knife hand. He comes in, 1, 2. Another important point to keep in mind here. It may feel like his arm landed on your shoulder and it's sitting on your shoulder. You don't want to have that there. And you don't want to try to seize his arm while it's on the shoulder, because here's where you'll end up. He'll be able to pull the knife right across your throat. If I feel that his arm landed on my shoulder, okay, and we're going to be from here, land on my shoulder, this hand here, the top hand, before it actually clamps down, I'm going to push his arm off my shoulder and then clamp down. Come on, look at this. 1, what happens now is I push and then lock on. From here, we already know exactly what it is that we're doing. I'm in reference point 1. We already know what the rest of the strategy is, and from here. Reference point 1, I take his head down underneath and take him to the ground. Comes in with an angle 2. The angle 2 happens to come in from my right side because he's holding a knife in his right hand. I perceive the action on my right side. Right away, I lead with my right side. Right arm is shielding down low. Left arm shields the rest of my face. Note here the benefit that we have with this response as opposed to 360. The 360, I'm really essentially only covering either this quarter, or this quarter of the body. Those three angles, one or the other. Between this angle and this angle, it doesn't take much for him to suddenly change and divert around my block. With this block, look at how far down I'm defending. It doesn't make a difference whether he's coming in up high and from here or down low and from here. No matter what he comes in with, no matter what he comes in with, I'm always going to be in a position to block it and respond properly. Angle 2, he came in to my right side, I lead with my right side. Same thing, right away, I seize, attack. I'm in reference point 2. I simply reach around. If for whatever reason I can't reach around, maybe he's bent down too far, maybe I'm too short, he didn't come down far enough, there's a couple options. Number 1, I can simply reach up, grab his hair, and yank him back. Number 2, keep attacking him down low, give him a good hard knee, that'll drive his body down a bit, giving you the opportunity to reach in and grab hold. Angle 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, I ground, then I disarm. Angle 3, angle 4, same thing. Angle 5, we're going to add a variation. 2 variations. In the 360 defense, angle 5, all we did was an upward stab. A more common attack in the center line is a straight thrust, either to the midsection or to the face area. That's what we're going to add in right now. This response will only work if you are standing in the way in which I said, which is your hands are up in center line. This is how I'm talking to this guy. This is how I'm engaging him right now, not here. If you start here, what I'm about to show you is not going to work. You need to keep that in mind. My arms come up in the center. The end result of my arms is going to be the same thing. They're going to be either on this side or this side, but they'll be in that same formation. What happens is, as that thrust comes in, he's coming in with a low line stab, okay? Okay? As he comes in with that, my hands are over top. One hand sweeps across over top. The other hand comes in directly into the top, and then I just reverse. Comes in, 1, 2. Notice my body mechanics. Again, the same thing. I'm making contact with the arms, taking his arm offline and seizing it, but my hips, I'm sending them back to make sure that there's no mistake here and that this blade doesn't reach my body. Comes in, 1, 2, 3. Real slow, just to see for fun here. Hands are up. One hand simply sweeps down low. It's responsible for the whole line from my shoulder and down, sweeping right across. My other hand sweeps across my face. In the event that an angle comes up high, sweeps across my face. But the end result is the same thing. I'm still leading in with one hand, or one side, sorry, and I'm seizing. Midsection, 1, 2, 3. I'm reference point 1, head flip. Same thing. I ended up reversing the other way. Lock on. No big deal. I'm in reference point 2. Control the head, take him down. If he comes up high to my face, all that happens is my top hand again sweeps. 1, 2, 3. Slowly once more. He comes in. 1, 2. Comes in, going to the other side now. 1, 2. 2. In one motion. 1, 2, 3. I'm on the outside, reference point 2. Reach around and use the chin to control him down to the ground. Last angle I'm going to add here is a number 6, which is going to be an overhand straight downward thrust, which, although is not very common compared to the other angles we just looked at, it still does occur. Now, with this angle, principles here again. Number one, so no matter what happens, I'm not going to stand in the track of the knife. Again, I either want to be out of range or inside, as deep as I can go. My motion with my arms is the same thing. I'm sweeping both sides because this is going to address any sudden surprises of an angle coming to a different, through a different area that I maybe perceived wrong. So in case he comes down low, I still have this sweeping motion going on down low, even though I was aiming for high. So I can still redivert that knife offline. As that happens, all I'm going to do now is guide his arm into my lower hand and trap it. So he comes in, 1 and 2. Slowly comes in, 1, 2. Once again, slow. Comes in, 1, 2. And I attack. Fast. 1, 2, 3. Reference point 1. We know the drill. Touch your knee. If I ended up going to the other side, you know where I end up in reference point 2. 1, 2, 3. Control, down, counter, counter, and disarm. What we're going to work on right now is defense strategies against some knife threats. Again, a knife threat is a situation where I have an individual who wants to do me harm and he has a knife in the mix. In this case here, he comes up, he presents the knife, but the knife is not in motion yet. That is a much better situation than if the knife goes active. Whenever possible, priorities. I want to try and prevent that knife from even coming into the mix. If I can again intercept it before he has a chance to deploy it, I'm in a much better position. If it's deployed and it's not moving, I'm in a worse position than if that knife wasn't deployed, but in a much better position if the knife goes active. The worst case scenario is what we already looked at, which is the knife attacks when the knife is active. So right now we're going to take a step back and we're going to look at knife threats. Different assortments of situations where that knife is presented. In this particular situation, my threat comes up, deploys the knife. There's a distance between myself and the knife and a bit of a distance between my attacker and myself. He's making demands here. Naturally, you got to remember, what is it that defines a knife attack and a knife threat? The only reason why he's not stabbing me yet is because he wants something from me. Whether it's something physical he wants to acquire from me, such as my wallet or who knows what, or whether he just wants to first intimidate me and threaten me before he stabs me. But the point is that right now he's busy with the plan of action. That's why he's threatening me right now and he's not attacking me. Before he goes active, I want to make my move. I'm not going to wait till he goes active. If he's sitting here making demands, while he's talking, I'm already going into action. As soon as I see the situation present itself, I already execute my plan of action. I'm going to first present the technique and then we'll discuss it. Okay. He presents himself, he's in distance, the knife is deployed, it's static right now, it's not moving. That's when I want to take control of it. I don't want it to move. When it starts moving, I got problems. My reaction, first of all, as soon as I can, I want to seize control of that hand, the knife arm. I reach up to his outside. This is inside. I'm not grabbing from the inside. I don't want to end up here because it complicates things. He's got that hand coming into the mix. I want to end up on his outside, his dead side. My left hand, which is to the left side, which is where I want to go as the quickest one to reach it there, that is the hand that reaches up. Notice where I'm grabbing, I'm simply grabbing hold of his wrist. I'm not grabbing hold of his hand. I don't have a grip here. If I have any type of a grip where my fingers are not connected, I don't have a grip, he can pull it away. From here, I want his wrist, pull away. He's going to have a much harder time being able to pull it away from me because my hand is closer together. So in from here, I reach up, 1, I grab, step in. Right away, simultaneously, I get my counter attack in there. I get this strike to his face to distract him, to freeze him momentarily. in one motion. One. From here, my striking hand comes back. I now reach down. It's as if, again, I'm gripping the knife in midair. It's floating there without his hand, and I'm gripping hold of it. I grab onto it just the way that he's holding onto it, with my hand still controlling his wrist. What I'm doing now, in different variations of the Krav Maga system, especially traditional ones, what you'll notice is a simultaneous cavalier wrist lock with the kick. This poses a problem because I don't know what position his legs are going to be in. As I begin to rotate him, what I'm doing here is I'm rotating his wrist up towards him, and I'm pressing down the wrist in towards him and twisting it out. It begins to alter the positioning of his legs. If I don't first assess where his legs are, there's a very high probability I'm going to kick him in the knee instead and hurt my foot. So what I want from here, strike, I reach in. The first thing that I'm going to do is control. Only once I got to here is he now standing still, he's not in motion, and I can assess where my target is, which is the groin. And at that point there, I carry on. Let's just go over that again, first part. 1, 2. I just shuffle, make a quick shuffle step. From here, I reach in. All I'm doing now is shuffling and shifting his hand over to the other side. His body is now static, it's not moving. Once the groin is in sight, my rear leg, I kick him. If I happen to be in close, then I knee him. No big deal. I've given him that kick. All I do now is I continue the motion of the twisting of the wrist till he's down on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I maintain control. I don't care where his body flies to. I don't let his arm leave this position. Couple options from here. Before I attempt to disarm, I want to make sure that he's not active anymore. If he's trying to get up, well then I'm going to keep on attacking him to make sure that he isn't active. Another option I have, I'm still holding on to his wrist, holding on to his hand. I bend his hand, his elbow, I drive it into the ground now, nice and hard. This will break his wrist and it will pop the knife out. If not, or even after this, if he's still holding on to the knife, I simply do again my disarm. Break the grip and rake. Break, rake, distance, assess your environment, and decide what you need to do next. So once again from this side. And once more from this side. The next knife threat situation we're going to look at is going to be a variation off of the first one. In the first one, he presented the knife. In this one here, knife is presented and he's also grabbing onto me. Again, I have to work quickly here. A threat, usually, in the majority of the cases, will automatically evolve into an attack, which means that even after he's threatening me, even after he's got my wallet, he's going to start stabbing me. So I need to dominate quickly. I don't waste any time. I'm going to demonstrate the technique and then explain. Okay, let's break this down. Presents a knife. My initial motion is the exact same thing. I'm going to his outside, taking control, seizing control of his wrist. No different than what we just did in the first variation, only here, I have another target that's presented. As I grab his wrist and I take the knife offline, I can take it across his arm, cutting him. Is that going to end the fight? More than likely not. But it'll cause some more damage on him. Hopefully it'll persuade him to stop attacking or to run away. What's important here? My hands move up simultaneously. As my left hand reaches up and controls his wrist, my right hand is under my chin with the fist ready to shoot out. It's very important. The timing here is crucial. If I reach up and control, if I take control of his wrist and I begin to parry the knife offline, and only then or simultaneously do I bring my hand up, two problematic elements here. Number one is that if the blade is long enough and I'm moving on the wrong angle, I may actually also cut my hand along the process. Number two, if my fist ends up on his outside, he can block my fist from reaching his face. He can block my fist. He can also slide in, get me in a headlock. Okay, which poses another problem. So what's important here, folks, is that my fist ends up on the inside before my shoulder leans forward. Because as soon as my left side shoots forward for the knife, I'm closing his grabbing hand on my chest, and that prevents my striking hand from getting into position. So simultaneously, both my hands come up. One motion. One. From here, I deliver that fist from the inside. One, two. From here, it's all the same. I quickly control, wrench his wrist to the outside. I stabilize myself. I make sure he's stable and he isn't moving. Kick. Continue to guide him down to the ground. Smash. Disarm. If it falls, it falls. I'll make sure he sees control of it. And out of position. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and out. And out. We're going to carry on now with our next knife threat situation. In this scenario, I still have a grab presented. The previous situation we had was very similar, only the knife was not in contact with my body. That became my primary concern. In that situation, my primary concern was the knife. Then it was him. In this scenario, the knife is at my throat, in contact with my neck. I'm going to first demonstrate, and then we'll break it down and discuss it. In from here. Okay, let's go. We had. He's grabbing, the knife is in contact with my neck. My primary concern now is not the knife. It's the fact that the knife is in contact with my neck. Because here, when it's not in contact with my body, that's the primary concern. All I need to do is grab onto it. When I've grabbed onto it, I've pretty much neutralized the primary concern. I can revert now to dealing with my secondary concern, which is him. Here, if I simply reach up to grab it, without first addressing the fact that it's in contact with my body, I might cut myself in the process. So my primary concern right now is the fact that this blade is in contact with my body. Once I address that, the knife will be my secondary concern. How do I negate this situation? Number one, just to separate things. Everything happens simultaneously, but I'm going to separate these points. Right now, my body. The knife is on my left side. I want to take my left side away from the knife. Look what happens right away. As soon as I dip my right shoulder forward and pull my left side back, this knife is no longer in contact with my body. Now I can revert to dealing with the knife. So that is my body mechanics. Just my body. I quickly rotate my torso to disconnect the knife from my body. Simultaneously, both hands shoot up and they're going to seize control of the knife hand. The knife is on my left side. My left hand is going to reach up and clamp onto his knife hand, not his wrist, but his knife hand. Nice and tight, and keep it locked into my chest. From here, 1. That's implementing the left hand now. 1. My right hand simultaneously comes up. I hit the inside of the arm here just to take a knife offline of my body, at the same time, clamp on. I'm locked onto the knife in 2 points here, and pressing against my body. Now, it's a very, very crucial point to keep in mind here. As I turn my body, I have my center line. Look at the knife hand. If his knife hand, is sitting on my center line or anywhere beyond my center line closer to him, he'll be able to pull the knife away. The knife right now is on my center line. If I lock onto it in from here, he'll be able to pull it away. Okay? What's crucial is that from here, as I rotate and clamp, I'm also pulling him forward. Pulling the knife as close to my left shoulder as possible. From here, that's how far back I want to take it. It doesn't matter how hard he pulls here, he's not going to be able to free himself. Bear that in mind. If the knife hand is sitting on the center line, he'll be able to free his hand. So again, just until now, we've got 1. Immediately now, I revert to my third concern, which is him. My third threat here. Start to neutralize him. My right hand, closest to him, boom. I'm going to unwind my hips and smash right into his brachial plexus origin, the side of his neck. Take control. I've got a knee or a kick. His body right now bends over. I'm in reference point 1, but I have an adjustment I got to make here. I don't want to keep this knife in this position. I don't want to keep control just with my hand. Otherwise, the head flip is going to be complicated here. It's going to be compromised. So what happens in from here is after I've given him that kick down low, I make sure he's in control, and right away, I'm going to slightly let go of my grip and slide in underneath. Controlling. Okay, notice I still have full control that he can't really affect me with a knife. From here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And out. Touch your knee. From here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The next knife threat situation that we're going to look at is, again, it's going to be a variation off of the previous one that we just did. The previous situation, he held on to me, and the knife was to the outside of my neck, facing outside. This time here, it's to the inside. Essentially, the blade is facing the same direction that his hand is grabbing. We'll first demonstrate from this side, then from the other side, and then we'll break it down. But first demonstrate the technique in full. Okay. Again, the blade right now is pressed against my neck. That's my primary concern. I can't deal with trying to grab the hand first or redirecting it without first making sure that it disconnects from my neck. Otherwise, I'll cut myself in the process. In from here. Same thing. The blade is pointed towards the right. If I take my right shoulder back, right away, I disconnect the blade from my neck. It's against my neck. In from here. If I pivot, take my right shoulder back, it takes the blade off of my neck. That's the first thing I want. Simultaneously, as we had in the previous technique, both my hands are going to attack his knife hand from either side. What's going to happen from here? As I draw my right shoulder back, my left hand is going to push his knife arm forward. I'm exaggerating how far right now, but that's just to illustrate the motion. From here, 1. 1. So all I'm doing is pushing it off. While that's happening, my right hand shoots right up in from here, in between both of his hands. This will cause my left hand to push his knife arm into my right hand. As soon as I've got contact with both hands, I pull the knife into me. From here, 1, 2. 1, 2. Nice and quick. Next, we already know. Counter. Counter. I'm in reference point number 2. I'm facing his back. That means I reach in, grab the chin, pull him down, continue to counter, disarm in from here, do what I need to do, and leave. Last variation of the knife attack, knife threat situation that we're going to look at. From here, he takes a very aggressive stance with me. This could be a scenario, okay, that maybe he came up here and tried to mug me. I tried to make my move, something went wrong, he pulled back now, okay, because he wants to start to attack. In from here, as soon as he gets in this position, right away, I want this hand. Ideally, if I can, I want to grab onto his knife hand. That's common sense. Right now I'm going to assume that I don't have that availability. He's hiding the weapon down behind his body there. As soon as I can, I want to shoot my hand across his chest and try and reach that shoulder. I want to feel that shoulder. This hand here shoots up over top of his elbow and it's in control. I need to be in contact here at all times. This is on his shoulder because I want to also feel the movement of that knife if it starts coming towards me. Now I'm not going to stand here and wait for any attack. Right away from here, boom, I start to attack. Thumbs in the eyes, get him in the throat, forearm into the face, kicks into the groin. I don't waste any time. I start to attack him until I can reverse the situation. Before I deal with the actual attack coming in, a couple ways to reverse it. I'm holding on. I've come in, got him in the groin, popped him in the face. He's holding on here. What I'm going to do with this hand, the elbow, is I'm going to pull it in front of my body. As I do that, I'm going to quickly turn him in around and seize control of the knife hand. Take him down to the ground, and I've got control. That happens right away. When he grabs onto me, boom, I attack. Immediately, I take his elbow, swing it across my body. I haven't let go with this hand here. I'm using this to actually pop him in the face to drive him further back. Look at how much control I'm maintaining over his body here. Rip it up right away. As soon as I got control, I want to seize this hand as quickly as I can. From over top, I'm going to find it. I can come in now into the face and take him down from here, or I can also assist the takedown in from here by kicking the back of his knee up, seating him down. Counter, control, disarm. I'm coming full. Grabs on. I lock on, find the shoulder. Attack down low. Attack up high. Pull the elbow in. Get behind. Seize control. Let's assume then from here, he already comes in with that stab. Okay? First one we're going to look at is midsection through here. As soon as I feel his shoulder coming forward, I know that the knife is coming at me. It's going to happen now then. I drop my elbow, take control. Okay, from here, as he comes in, then I sweep. I simply sweep my elbow across my body, driving the knife offline. At the same time, my right hand reaches down and I seize the arm. 1, 2, locking on. 3, 4. I'm in reference point number 2. Head, seat, counter, disarm. Now there's a chance that because my arm is across his chest, he's going to be disrupted for coming in underneath. So he might try to stab over top. As he comes in, my left arm in from here, might impede him from being able to stab underneath. So as a result, he might try to stab over top, okay, into my face. If I feel that arm going up, okay, right away, I dip my elbow up, driving it over, ending the same position, seizing, controlling, reference point 2, I go to work. Okay, once again, quick review. As soon as he locks on, I lock on. If I can, I want to grab hold of that knife hand. I want to work my way in close to where I've got control of it, okay? And I can start working into a reference point to take them down. If that isn't available, we lock on from here, attack, attack, shift the elbow, control, take him down. If he initiates a stab, down low, my elbow swings, wrap, seize, attack, attack on reference point 2, control, take him down. If he comes over top, I raise my elbow, bring him over, seize and control, attack, attack, reference point 2, head, counter, disarm.